question, and it was, do you want to actually tell us again what that question was? You don't remember it? Okay. So we were talking about, we've already discussed basically that time, you know, the past lives, future lives, and this life, it all actually exists simultaneously. Okay? And it's a little bit difficult to wrap our minds around that concept, and I totally get that. But instead of thinking of time as a linear thing, you know, so for example, I had a past life in ancient Egypt, I had a past life in the First World War, and I had a past life, for example, you know, perhaps 7 years before this lifetime. We think of it in terms of history almost, like historically, but it doesn't actually happen like that. It's just all these different lifetimes, and they're kind of flickering on and off quantumly, yeah? And we bring them into our awareness if something is bothering us. So let's say, for example, now I'm right here, but there's something going on inside of me, and I access a trans-temporal experience, which is another name for a past life or a future life, yeah, where I was, you know, I don't know, in the ancient Egyptian era, let's say, and something from that is bothering me, right? Maybe I'm experiencing slavery right now, and that's come from that particular lifetime. But it's only because there's a live wire from that lifetime that's flickering in this lifetime that's affecting me. So I just focus here, and I'm like, okay, I've got some slavery issues going on. We access it with our fusion tools that it's got to do with this, you know, particular lifetime. And we neutralise and heal with the tools that we've been using over the previous days. And the question was something along the lines of, okay, but what about historical events? You know, or any events, in fact. Don't they happen linearly?
Yeah.
Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if we talk about, like, this lifetime, for example, obviously, something happened when I was 7, and something happened when I was 10, and something happened when I was 20. Those are linear events. So linearity does exist, but we create it. The reason that we create it...
Because we're rigid.
Yes, we are rigid, but I actually dreamt about this last night so that I can explain it to you. And so what happens is, time is basically a form of measure. Okay, so you can measure between events. That's what time is actually for. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
So an event happens here, and an event happens here, and an event happens there in this lifetime. And time allows me to go, okay, that happened when I was 7, that happened when I was 15, and this is going to happen when I'm going to be 52. Are you all right so far? You're frowning. Are you with us? No? Okay. So basically what I'm saying is that we use time to measure between one event and the next event. That is basically the use of time. Right. So lifetimes, in this lifetime, I'm going to draw a circle like this. And I'm just doing that circle so I can separate it from all of the other information on the board. Let's say in this circle is all of our lifetimes. That's it. Let's just focus on this one for a moment. Right? So this is the present one. Okay? In this present one, I have linear events. Birth, infant school, junior school, secondary school, marriage, whatever. So all these different events are happening in this lifetime. Are you with me at the minute, right? Now, in this ancient Egyptian lifetime, there's also linear events that we create. And in this lifetime of the Second World War, there's other linear events that happened. I was born, I grew up, I went to a concentration camp, you know, whatever happened, I escaped, blah, blah, then it finished. So what I'm saying is that there is linearity reality, there's time within each lifetime. Are we on the same page? Right?
Yeah.
However, all these different lives, with all those linear events going on in them, right, are happening at the same time.
Wow.
However, this is the one that I'm currently at, that I am consciously experiencing, and the other ones are only active in me if there's something that I need to deal with from it. Yeah? So if that's the lifetime, for example, when I was a slave in ancient Egyptian times and it's giving me some aggro here, then I do my fusion work and I neutralise this situation so it doesn't affect me here. Okay? This is how it goes. Another analogy I wanted to make with, you know, the ability to be able to move across time, just make the point and then you tell me, Alexander. We can move across time. How do we know it? When we go into a deep meditation, right, doesn't the soul travel?
Mm-hmm.
It does, doesn't it? But aren't you still here still?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, so you are transtemporal, a multi-dimensional being that can experience this, 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 this and this, all at the same time. Got it? Because I've done that before as well, when my soul has travelled, but I'm still lying on the floor in the here and now. There's still an aspect of me here, but I'm able to experience this and this and this and this and perhaps God knows, you know, what else. Another analogy was Dr. Alan Wolf, a quantum physicist that I met in 2012, that gave the loaf of bread analogy, which is another really nice one. These are like little things just to help wrap our heads around it, right? So Alan said to us, say like this is a loaf of bread. That's a really bad loaf of bread, it looks like a bell. Anyway, so that's a loaf of bread, right? So he said we can slice that loaf into many slices, slice, 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 and you can give a slice to somebody in Limassol, somebody in Nicosia, somebody in Africa, but it's still part of the same slice of bread. Loaf of bread, excuse me. So that's another analogy to help us understand that we can be in many places simultaneously.
Yes.
It's very hard for our linear academic mind to wrap our heads around it, but perhaps if you contemplate on it, it helps. Now let's.
But it means then that we never die in any life because it's still going on.
Exactly. We are infinite and eternal, is the bottom line. And and this is why time travel also is possible, because we go beyond time. Do you know what I mean? It is possible. Some people have managed to do this in the physical, like they can literally disappear and do it. And, you know, but most of us are not yet at that stage of evolution, but we can do it through, you know, our deep, you know, intuitive processes, our meditations and whatnot, where we go through stages. Like now, we are time-space, but we can go into a state where we're space-time. That's kind of what happens with Merkaba, which we're going to do a little bit later on, where you think that you've only been there perhaps for like a moment of time, but it's maybe much longer. Or you might go completely beyond the time spectrum and go into no time, where you just don't feel anything whatsoever. And that is where everything is just still. It feels like it's still, but you are moving, and when you experience it, you'll know, like all your electrons and neutrons and protons are vibrating at such a high speed that you feel like you're just standing still. That's no time experience. But you're here in time-space. So you see how we're everything all at once, multi-dimensionally. We can experience timelines, we can experience simultaneous time, space-time and no time. That is the essence of what we actually are. Does that answer the question that you forgot? That's it. Thanks, babe. You can shut and chop. Thank you.